In this video, I'll show you how to take a drum part from an existing track, cut it out with the Marquee tool and drag it straight into Drum Machine Designer for further editing. I will refine the samples by adding fades, retuning individual hits and adding processing to the individual sounds. First, I'm going to use the Marquee tool to cut out the drum selection. I'll start by making a selection with a single click holding Command. Then I'll use the right arrow key to snap to transient and then hold Shift and use the right arrow key to make the selection. Next, click on the selection and drag it to the track header into the Drum Machine Designer. As you can see, Drum Machine Designer has automatically split the drum parts into individual hits, making it easy to edit each one. For example, I can add fades to smooth out the end of the samples. I'm now going to go back and chop out an open hi-hat that comes at the end of the drum part. This can then be drag and dropped into the Drum Machine Designer. Next, I'm setting up an exclusive group for the open and closed hi-hat so they behave correctly when played. In a real drum kit, an open hi-hat naturally cuts off when the pedal closes it, and I want to replicate that behaviour in Drum Machine Designer. To do this, I'll click on the pop-up menu for the hi-hat sample and choose Exclusive Group and assign it to a shared group with any other hi-hats I'm using. This ensures that when one hi-hat plays, the others cut off automatically, preventing overlapping sounds and making the groove feel more natural. When I originally dragged the selection into Drum Machine Designer, it not only split the audio into individual samples, but automatically created a MIDI file to trigger them. In this case, I don't need it because I want to program my own drum part. I'm now opening a pattern region and going to create a drum part. I've noticed that the kick sounds a little bit choked. This is because for some reason one shot isn't selected. One shot mode ensures that the full sample plays every time it is triggered, rather than being cut off based on note length. This is essential for drums, as it allows them to play with their full impact without being unintentionally shortened. Now I'm going to start adjusting the individual sounds, beginning with the kick. First, I'll apply a low-pass filter to tame any unwanted high frequencies and smooth out the top end. Then I'll add a touch of overdrive to introduce some harmonic saturation and give the kick more warmth and weight. Next, I'm going to bring down the pitch of the kick. Now going to adjust some of the parameters on the hi-hats and snare. Next is to name the drums being used. Now I'm going to use pad controls. As you can see, when I click on the pad controls, it brings up some parameters we've just adjusted, like pitch and filter settings. Over on the right hand side, we also have access to two effect sends, allowing me to add reverb and delay. As you can see, the tracks are now separated in the track mixer in the main window, giving me full control over each sound. I can also reorder the tracks to keep things organised and start adding individual processing, for example applying EQ to the snare to shape its tone.